Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of TheBtzTho. This is episode 12. We're sitting here next to a rapper. His name is Jmal. Malik, my name is Calypso Beats. Jmal, what's going on, man?
Chilling, bro. How you doing, man?
Long time.
Yeah.
Long time. It's been a minute since I've seen you, since we've been in each other's presence.
Yeah, word.
So what's been going on with your creative journey as of now?
Oh man, just working on a lot of different writing, for different individuals.
Well, what do you do actually?
So I'm actually a rapper.
Okay.
Been doing a lot of making a lot of singles and stuff.
Okay.
No full bodies of work completed yet. But outside of that, also been trying to just get in my pen game up. Just writing in different lanes, like R&B especially.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that outside of the rap stuff, the writing for different R&B artists and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Cool,
so you have a little bit of a softer side.
Yeah, just trying to just expand that entire.
I mean that's always good. I think there are different dimensions to a person. They're not just one thing.
Right. Nah, absolutely.
I think that's what made certain rappers great, like Tupac and DMX and stuff like that. Even though their content was very geared towards the streets and those things like that, they still had songs like Dear Mama, and Brenda Had a Baby.
I think people relate to them.
Right. Just relating to people. So how has it been going, actually?
It's actually been going pretty well. The pandemic, like a lot of people said, that I think that sparked a lot of the creativity. A lot of the different businesses shut down. One place I was working at shut down, so you just had nothing but time.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
And it just kind of just put my mind in the set of all right, well, make an album. Let's make some music. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's literally it just switched, because you go from being busy every single day, trying to map out every single day, to just all right, now I have nothing to do.
But you know what? As a creative person, I don't think we ever have nothing to do. Yeah. I don't think, because your day job stuff, I think our minds are always going. Right. So you find things to take up that time.
Right, that extra space.
Right, and I was very happy, not happy that the pandemic, but to have that time where it was kind of you went outside and, there weren't a lot of people around. I'm a recluse sometimes, and, I need a certain type of energy in order for me to move to do certain things.
Okay.
I don't know what this is, but if I see too many people in a place, when people go into the supermarket and they don't taking the first item, they dig all the way to the back, back to get whatever, so that they know this is the fresh one.
The freshest one, yeah.
Kind of have that going on, you know what I mean? But it helped me to calm down my thoughts and be able to think about things that I really want to do, into the future. And what I'm hearing from you is pretty much the same thing. You're just getting a little bit more focused.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Because giving all your time to one thing, right? But then you still got your wants, your needs, your desires, your dreams behind all of that. Behind everything else that's there. So once you get that opportunity to really everything slows down, and then it's just you with your thoughts. That's when I think the most beautiful stuff comes out of it.
Right. Right. So when did you actually start rapping? How did it happen?
So I started actually rapping. I think I had to be about 10, 11. I was real young. I think I got started. It was this song Infinite by Eminem.
Okay.
And I heard it for the first time. I'll never forget, because I was watching some VH1 documentaries and music videos when they used to play music videos. Yeah. And they had Infinite, it had came up on the screen, and just the way he was rapping, Eminem, I don't know, that verse, it just stuck with me. It just stuck with me. The way that he was like delivering it, the way that his flow was, it really inspired me. And I was like, yo, this is so hard. I want to do it. Like, I want to do something just like it.
You know, I think like anybody that ever sat down and wrote a rhyme and recited it for someone else to hear, they have to have like a lot of confidence in themselves.
Yeah.
Even if they don't say it with aggressive, but like that's something that's personal and something that came out of your head. And to share that with anybody, you gotta have a lot of confidence to do that, you know? But I know early on, because I'm a rapper too, I consider myself a rapper, but it's not something I do all the time.
Yeah.
But like as a kid, you know, you don't even really know your voice yet.
Right.
You don't know like what you're gonna sound like or
what's it gonna turn into?
Yeah, you know. But I could tell you like when I first met you, you know, we was in Brooklyn and you came by with everybody else, the whole group at that time, right? G&D, right? Like when I met you and I heard your voice, I was like, yo, your voice is mad different. You know what I'm saying? It's mad different, you know? And I liked it because it sort of reminded me of, it was like, to me, it was grungy. It felt like there was pain. It felt like there was intent, you know? And I for me, I just wanted to work with you a lot. But being, you know, schedules and things like how life works out, you know, like I couldn't really do it. And then I had other things in my life going on at the time. But like, you've always kind of like been there, like in my mind, like I'm like, yo, I wonder what it'd been like if we would like did a whole album. I wonder what it'd been like if I could just have them for like a day. I think we could do something like, and it would be remarkable, you know? But, and I still feel like that, you know, and I think it's super important, like for creatives to bet on themselves. And I feel like they gotta block out the time, whether you got kids and all that other stuff, because I got plenty of friends, because I'm almost 40, right? I got plenty of friends, I call them, and they got kids and babies crying in the background and stuff, you know, glass breaking and all this other stuff. But it's very, very important for creative people to block out time for themselves and bet on themselves at least once a month, you know, twice a year. I think it's super, super important. You can't keep letting life bring these obstacles and you just fighting the obstacles all day.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But that was my thought. I thought your voice was damn unique, you know? And I don't think I've heard anything like that in a long time, you know, from a younger person. Now it's different nowadays. I got like a couple of younger people that I do beats and stuff for. And I don't know, to me, it just feels like it's kind of, I guess, well, back in the day, there was, it was called like emo or whatever, but there's a lot of emotion in like what the type of music that they're putting out. Whether it's overly aggressive, but like sometimes overly aggressive to me sometimes mean that there's something that you're really trying to hide or you don't want people to see as yet.
Right.
And then I kind of get like a lot of like sad, moody kind of rappers that I come across, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna say I'm old, but but a lot of the people that are in my age group, they kind of like shut it out, they lock it out, and but I'm listening and I'm accepting. Oh, okay, this is what hip hop sounds like now. This is what New York sounds like now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, how do you feel? I mean, how do you feel coming up from when you were 10 and hip hop where it is right now?
Man, it changed so much and so drastically. And I was just actually having this conversation because people are still discovering my stuff for the first time, which is crazy to like just even think about it, just because I do have like some projects. I have like 2 projects, but a lot of songs that's like almost 10 years old at this point.
Right.
And they're like discovering it for the first time. So it's almost like when they hear like the newer stuff, they're just like, yo, Jmal, you sound like you've been doing this for a long time. But then it's one of those things like, I have, but I haven't.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
it's just to see how much it's changed. It's almost like a want and a need to keep up with it, and you know, you do get that desire because it's just the familiarity of it. Oh man, I messed that word up, but
it's all right. We'll take it out and post or something.
Just being familiar with it, but still just trying to make sure that you just do the things that you like and the things that's familiar to you without being so super influenced to it.
Yeah, staying true to yourself.
Yeah, I was just talking to somebody the other day, you know, sometimes, you know, you just put on playlists, like if you're busy or you're doing something, you're just trying to get stuff done, you just put on a playlist and just let it play, right? Sometimes you just do that. And a lot of the songs, I'll be like, I've never heard this song in my life, but then people will be like, how don't you know this song? Like, I'm just listening to the stuff that inspires me still.
Right.
Like, I'm still listening to Ready to Die. It's crazy that I still like would go to that first, or like I'll still be listening to like, you know, some of my homies' early stuff.
Right. Nostalgia.
Like, yeah, but it's just trying to still just progress yourself and not get stuck.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and I feel like as another one musician to another, like I feel like I've had the back end of that. Like I found myself going, instead of like going further and further forward, I found myself going further and further back.
Okay.
And like I remember when you guys came over and recorded, what year was that? I don't know. That was like 2010, 2011.
Yeah, it was like 2010.
2010.
2009.
Okay, 2009, right? Yeah. So at that time, I was very into dubstep. I was very into Mad Decent and Diplo and that type of vibe, right? And dubstep is a break off of it's sort of like a break off of reggae and dub. Because in other countries, they call reggae dub. They don't call it reggae. They got different names for it, especially in England and stuff like that. So as I go back, you know, and I look, I'm like, oh, I like this song, but that song has this sample from 1970. So I find myself going digging further and further back. It's like I have like an obsession of like, I want to hear everything, right?
Yeah.
You know?
No,
and it's difficult because I meet people that are my age and I tell them, oh, do you know about, Bobby Digital? Or do you know about King Tubby and Prince Buster and all these people?
Bobby
do you know?
Digital.
Yeah, you know, like these things, do you know about them? And they're like, and these are people that are, they're Caribbean, they're Jamaican, and our parents, we all listen to the same music, but they don't know about it.
Yeah.
And they have no motivation to really know about it.
Yeah, to look into.
You know, and these are music people. So I find myself, you find yourself being like in your era, in your time, and then listening to things, you wanting to listen to things in the future.
More contemporary.
Right? And I'm like,
but still being stuff like, I'm still discovering like the same thing as you. Some of my favorite Luther Vandross songs are covers.
Right.
Which is crazy.
And now you got to find out who did the real song.
Who did the original.
Right.
Or even like Aaliyah songs was done by the Isley Brothers like way before. Like it's finding out stuff like that. It's just like, damn, like let me like go back there. But then that's where that comes from. You're like, I'm still listening to like this old stuff. I have no clue what's hot.
Yeah.
Somebody passed me the aux because I be anxiety like a motherfucker. Ooh, this is not gonna
be good.
This is not about to slap, but I'm gonna play it anyway. You know what I mean? But it's just one of those things. But it does lead to a lot of self-discovery,
self-awareness.
Yeah, self-awareness as well. Because you're tinkering, constantly tinkering, and you draw influence from it.
Right. Well, at least you know. You know, there's people, man. There are people that I know that are like 40, and they are stuck in like the year 2000. They're stuck there. They're comfortable. They don't want to leave. They want like, the jerseys and like it's crazy. And you like, yo, man. Like, take that stuff off, you know what I'm saying? This is what's going on, man. This is what's going on right now, And it's difficult to to pull those type of people out. But for me, I feel like, you know, they're necessary. You know, they had their time and stuff like that, and there's things that I can learn from that too. I never ever hated. I would say, okay, let me ask you a question like this: what's your favorite year in hip hop?
I think my favorite year gotta be like 02, 03.
02, 03?
Yeah.
Why specifically?
Yeah, because that's like Get Rich or Die Trying. But then you also had like Usher dropping stuff. Like Usher was like in his prime. And I just think in that age, and that's really when I would like kind of discover like how much I really liked rap.
Okay.
Because 03, I was 10 years old. You know what I mean? Get Rich or Die Trying, you can play the whole thing front to back to front.
That's you. When that came out, Wanksta's on there? Is Wanksta on there?
Yes.
Yo, Wanksta to me, like at that time, because it was so new and different, it was like the most annoying song ever. It was playing in my hood all day. You know what I'm saying? All day, Wanksta's playing, right? And I didn't know, and now I'm coming from the era of like, you saying that's 2000.
That gotta be like 03, something
03,
like that.
right? That's 03. Yeah. So I'm coming from my era of like rap, right? My year, I would want to say like 98, like 98, I'm gonna say 95, 98. Okay. So, but I was listening to, at that time they had like pirated radio. So the record industry, like a lot of people at that time, like 90, 95, 98, it wasn't like a record industry thing. It was more like, you had people like, they had this album called Sound Bombing, right? Okay. By a record label, Raucous Records. Sound Bombing had Eminem on there, had Common, had Talib Kweli, all these people. To me, that was I was like, Sound Bombing coming out. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta go and get that. And there was a special place in the city, I can't remember where you would get it or whatever, but I would front, like I went and got it there, but I would got my joint off of Jamaica Avenue. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. That. But those eras for people, sometimes people get stuck in there.
Yeah, you get stuck there.
And they don't wanna come out. Right?
It's that comfort zone.
It does feel comfortable. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like 2000, it feels very comfortable to me. Dipset and all that, the live, that's very comfortable for me. But when you listen to that and you listen to, now you got Kendrick Lamar, you got like NBA YoungBoy, you got like all these, it's like the variety is so much.
Yeah. It's a lot.
It's crazy.
It's overwhelming sometimes.
It's like you have such a variety. Back then there wasn't that much of a variety because, you know, people wanted, you was either in the industry or you wasn't. And then it became you were either gangster or you weren't, you know? And if you weren't at that time and that was the most popular thing, then you gotta get out of here. Like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta get out of here. We don't care about you, man.
Yeah.
You know, so, all right. So you 10, right? And you experience all those things, 2003. Now you get to like your high school, you're in high school. What's going on in high school?
Yeah, high school is when I finally started putting the words down and learning how to use my voice, use the equipment. My school, I was fortunate, we had a studio in the school. What
high school you went to?
High school for law enforcement.
What? So, there was a studio in there?
That's what I said. It made no sense. It's a law enforcement focused high school, but we had a recording studio. And it was the illest thing ever. One of the teachers, Mr. Gillenwater, he was a musician. So he like took it on himself and he was like, all right, I'm gonna run this as an after school activity. So you had a bunch of rappers in the school and we all just learning the equipment.
Hold on. Is this the same school that I went to that y'all performed at? Is it?
Yeah.
Y'all performed there. I'm talking about G&D, and we got some people in the audience too that can vouch for that. Yeah. But that's amazing. I didn't know that had a studio. I would have been there all the time. Yeah, I've been up in there.
I was.
Wow.
I was in there.
So the guy, what's his name?
teacher, Mr. Gillenwater.
Okay.
Mr. Gillenwater, word.
And he was running the studio as an after school?
As an after school activity.
Oh, that's awesome.
You could go during your lunch periods. He made himself available.
Mm-hmm.
And you go in there, and then me, a few guys, you know, we go in there, and that's where I learned my rapping words. That's where I
How? Like by hearing other people?
One day, when I finally got enough nerve to like jump and rap on the microphone, I heard my voice and I was like, what the hell is that? Like, it went into the machine and came out a different person.
Right,
so
right.
I was like, I gotta figure out how to do it in the way that I like it.
That you feel like, oh, this is the way that I intended it to be.
To sound.
Okay.
Right, because
okay.
you know, the things sound different in your head than how sometimes.
Yeah.
So you just want to make it sound like how you did in your head. So maybe a little bit more breathy, a little bit more from, you know, the diaphragm, and then, you know, just a little bit of growl just so that it don't crack. And that's how I found my voice for real.
You didn't want your voice to crack?
Not at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a new magic trick to me.
Yeah, not at all. And that's really that's really my rap voice now. You know?
Wow.
Yeah, man. But yeah, that's when I linked up with, you know, G&D, you know.
How did that happen?
Well, we was all together in this it's like a pre-college program.
Okay.
Right? And we were all cool, right? Because it's a minority-based program. But, you know, we were all from the same area too. So when you're leaving and stuff like that, you're taking the same buses, same trains
taking
home.
the same route. Okay.
Yeah. Then you find, you know, similar interests and stuff, and then you just start clicking up and hanging out. You know what I mean? Outside of that, just, you know, long conversations. You start challenging each other to, like, you know, oh, this is what I do that works for me. Maybe you should try it. Like, you just bounce these ideas off of one another, to even like times where it's just like things that you just can't even plan, like just spontaneously. Y'all making up songs, just walking through the subway. Right. And just see some guy playing the piano, and then one person starts singing, one person start rapping, and now y'all just like, this is crazy. Like, it's just that synergy, just kind of just organic.
Wish you had a drone at that time, follow you.
Man,
get all that content.
Just to get all those moments.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of it you do, you know, we do have on, you know, old memory sticks, and
better get them things off.
From the camera phones, you know, like 2 megapixel camera phones.
Everything is like blurred and smeared.
Super blurry. Super blurry, super cloudy, like it's just
wow.
Yeah, man.
I think those are great moments. And if you have them, I think you should just back them up and keep them somewhere safe. Like, just like how people have like museums and stuff. I think you should do those things. One of my regrets from back in the day is using tapes, right?
Okay.
And cassette tapes were this type of thing. What we used to do is, well, I don't know if you know this trick, but when you used to get like a Luther Vandross tape, right? So I ain't got nothing to tape on. So you go and grab your mom Luther Vandross tape and stick some paper in there, and then you'd be able to record over it. Okay. So we didn't have money to like go to the store and whatever. We didn't have money for that. So we'd take our parents' old tapes, mixtapes or whatever we found, and we would record over them. What ends up happening to tape after a long time, just like not using it, I don't know what it is, but it just gets destroyed.
Yeah.
Like over time, it sort of gets more and more distorted. There's more crackling. It gets very hissy and muffled sounding, and then it's no good. And I know that at that time back then, when I was recording tapes like from off of the radio, man, that shit was crystal clear, man.
Yeah, see, I was right at the end of that. You talking about stop tapes?
Yeah, stop tapes.
Yeah, man, I was right at the end of that.
Yo, look, man. That shit was crystal clear. I used to go and play these tapes. I would play my little stop tape, and it was clear, loud. Now I go back and I go, if I found a cassette player or whatever, and I play it, man, I could barely even hear it.
Yeah.
So it's like it's gone, you know? And I never ever took the time out to like, if I knew better, I would have recorded it digitally into something and put it away. But that's what we used to do. And that's one of the things I regret, that I never ever got the chance to do that, you know? because a lot of stuff that we did in our house, the imagination, I don't even know where those things used to come from. You know, they just came from out of our head. Same way like you walking through a subway and the guy's playing the piano and someone starts singing and someone start rapping, like, what is that? It's like, it's out of your head. It's in that moment. Yeah. It's something that you guys grasped on and pulled down and made it real for other people to like hear it and observe it, you know? That's mad. That's some magical stuff.
Yeah. You can't plan it, man. It's the most beautiful, eerie feeling ever.
Okay. So we talk about, so now we at high school.
Yeah.
Okay. So get through high school, you learn your voice. What's the teacher's name again?
Mr. Gillenwood.
Are you still in contact with him?
No, but you know what's crazy? Working in restaurants, I see him every couple of years.
So why you don't, do you talk to him and say, yo, let's make a mixtape or something?
No. You know, last time I seen him, he had came with like a big group of teachers. I don't think he's still at that high school anymore, but I remember he told me, he was like, you know, not really doing the music as much anymore, but
he said?
Yeah, he said that, but he did tell me, he was like, look, I've done this before. Don't get stuck here. Stay with you.
He knows better.
Yeah, he told me, he was like, stay with what you want to do. Like,
right.
Get what you want out of life. That's literally like the exact words he said.
That's it. You gotta keep fighting.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of things will happen, and you might get the message like, oh, maybe I should stop. No, I'm gonna keep doing this.
I'm gonna keep pushing.
That's it. Keep going, keep pushing, keep doing it. You know, and don't listen, like, you know, when life gives you those obstacles and things, like if a bird come and shit on your head, and you walk outside, the bird shit on your head, don't necessarily mean it's good. It don't necessarily mean it's bad. Yeah. It's just that a bird shit on your head. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta keep doing and keep going.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm happy that you actually that you seen him, he gave you that message and stuff like that. So we were talking about high school, now we're after high school. So what's happening after your high school?
So right after high school, I stayed in the town, stayed in Queens, that's where I'm from. And I had gotten into St. John's, and I really started to get comfortable with, you know, the whole music, everything about it. You know, at that point, it was probably about consistently, about four years consistently of just constantly tweaking and trying to figure out what my lane might be. And then I used that network to expand and grow. You know, it's 40,000 people on that campus.
Wow. So
every opportunity I got to whether it's open mics that I would do every Thursdays in the cafe, I can't think of it, the name of it.
Fuzzy Wednesdays or something like that.
Yeah, they had an open mic, and it was probably like a little corner of this huge cafe, but it was a microphone on the stage and people that was there. So I found that. Or whether it's doing like the talent shows for their fundraisers that I would do there. And then, you know, just linking up with a couple friends from high school. Okay. And creating with them, pushing the boundaries with them.
So socially, when you got to college, you saw that there was so many people there that you were able to spread what you do to them and make it even bigger.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I don't think they would even see the opportunity.
Yeah, that was.
You know what I mean? But at this time, is Facebook and Instagram and was it Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat? Were these things social media big at that time?
Facebook was big, right? We're right on the heels of MySpace ending. So Facebook was big.
I didn't mention MySpace because I know that's old shit.
Oh yeah. Right on the hill, but it was at that time. It was just like phased out ultimately, right? So it was Facebook and Instagram a little bit. Like Instagram wasn't even. It was a little box, and then you had your little gray back. It was very new.
Instagram's flash. It was
still young.
Yeah.
And then you had Twitter.
Right.
Twitter was still big. Twitter.
So,
it was Twitter that was really.
So did you use Twitter or Instagram during that time?
I used Twitter more.
Okay.
Twitter more than anything.
Okay.
They still had the 140 character limit at that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you putting verses in there? Or no?
I mean, not really verses, but it was a good. It was a little bit smaller.
Okay.
Twitterverse or whatever you want to call it, Twitter universe. It was smaller. So you I guess you could link with more. You can link with more people and just find a couple more organic, organic connections through Twitter.
I think at that time, around like what year is that? Like
that was like 2011, 2012.
2012.
Yeah.
I think at that time, like a lot of I don't believe that social media now is organic. I feel like everything that every response that I get in my DM, wherever it is, it's just robots. I don't even care if I know you. I feel like it's a robot, you know? But I feel like back then at that time, being that those things were so new, that it was very organic. So you were actually talking to people and people were actually responding to you.
Yeah, and it was almost real people, you know? It's nobody really knew how to navigate it on that level yet. Like it was still so new. So like this whole thing with bots and automated, things that'll go and click things for you, just market things and send these messages out for you. That was still all new. You know, that it was different. It was definitely different then. But I used that to even build some of my connections.
That's what's up.
With the music, and luckily I was able to get a lot of material done and out just on like older platforms. Well, not old because people still use SoundCloud. So SoundCloud was a big thing for a lot of people then. As well as
I don't know what else was there besides SoundCloud.
Hot New Hip Hop. You had DatPiff. You had two. DatPiff, Hot New Hip Hop. There was another one that I can't think of. But this is before the age of like the distribution services.
Right. That's how you would. I remember I did something for someone, and I was so excited. But my friend Jason. He had an album that he did called Play on Words, and we released it on DatPiff, and there was another thing called Hulkshare.
Yeah, Hulkshare. Yeah.
Hulkshare, and like we released it, and it got like something like 4,000. Like we was looking at it, it was updating every time we was looking at it. So like we would look at it like, oh, it's 100. Well, now it's 200. Now it's 1,000. Now it's 4,000. It was like it was like a slot machine but I don't know if that's even those type of things are gonna happen anymore.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like if something is big, then it's big. Like if it's viral, it's viral. And if it's not, it's not. I don't see us having the updates and the excitement about everything.
Yeah, I mean, part of it is, I think, in this social media age, or the age of technology that I've been fortunate to come up with, it's almost like the age group that I'm in, I've grown with technology, literally. So everything was in its base form from like when I was a kid. So even seeing how to navigate, Twitter and Instagram, they changed their algorithm to what other people see all the time. Learning to navigate that algorithm will take you to the moon.
Right. But it'll also drive you crazy.
It will drive you nuts trying to figure it out. But once you find that sweet spot and you figure out how to really, once people get too good at it, then they'll change it.
Right.
They change it. They want to keep their users engaged.
I think that's just like one of those things, I don't know, like, and then I kind of think, like, you give me your opinion on this, right? Like, are people really liking what they're liking? Like, on social media? Like, okay, when somebody put out an album, the only thing that could really steer you back then, from my time, was like the radio.
Yeah.
The DJs could come on, say, oh, this album is bad. And everybody's like, yeah, it's bad, man. It's bad. It's a horrible album.
Yeah.
You know? But that was the only thing. But now I don't even know. Like, I don't even know if it's real likes. I need to see comments, you know?
Yeah.
And stuff like that for me to be like, oh yeah, this is genuine.
I don't think people are able to. I think they've gotten less of the ability to differentiate what's hot and what's not, because the pattern of it is what's similar to what you're seeing. Right? That's the purpose of the hashtag. So you can put like hashtag dope, hashtag Brooklyn, but there's a million things that's dope in Brooklyn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's less of like, it's more emphasis on the ease of access to information than actually determining like completely this is good, this is bad. Just finding things that are similar and things that are more similar gets good mixes of the two. Because that's something I'm still learning, and like, you know, you get to the point where you're making the product and you know how to display the product, but marketing it is
that's where the obstacle is.
That's the huge obstacle for a lot of people. But a lot of that marketing comes from, you know, the hashtags and the things that your post and your information or your content that you're putting out is associated with. It's the next
You don't sound
thing.
like a rapper anymore. You sound like a marketer.
You know what it is? You try so hard to push your stuff for so long. You gotta get good at it. You gotta learn it, because it can't be hot and just sitting to yourself.
Right,
You're trying to get it out as much as possible.
But you've done the work. I can hear that you've done the work. And the words like algorithm, I don't like that word at all. It just does not make me feel good. When someone says algorithm, I feel like, oh, this is an obstacle. This is an obstacle that's gonna be created that for me to think. But like hearing you talk, you don't sound like a rapper. And by you saying that, like I feel like a lot of me, like I'm like, yo, seriously, like does Kendrick Lamar like to think about these things when he's making? Does like are they into that thing? Because I just had a guy here, right? He was saying that, you know, if you're not good at something or whatever, you pay someone else, or you find someone else that can do it better than you can do it, right? Yeah. Or you bring them into your group, into your fold, and you utilize what they're good at and stuff like that. And I think a lot of people really aren't good at social media. Yeah. You know, it's a very difficult thing to navigate. Yeah. Especially when you're a rapper and you have a product that you need to put out, and you should be focusing more on that product than focusing on
right, exactly. That's where the tricky part comes in.
Right.
Because you're just so focused on me personally, I just be so focused on how to elevate my talent to the next level, right? Whatever that next level is, whether it's voice control, whether it's breath control, whether it's trying to reinvent the flow to sound current, sound contemporary, but stay true to where I'm comfortable. Because you can hear when somebody's not comfortable. You can hear it,
yeah.
Right? So it's you put so much energy into that, and you make it, and you create it, and you got all this stuff that's packaged with it, and you're like, cool, now how the fuck do I promote it? How do now I got it here, how do I promote it? You know, in a way that it's effective. Not so much with like making people see your vision, because they're gonna see if you buy into it enough. Right. Eventually, but that eventually is the biggest gray area that a lot of people, that sparks fear in a lot of people, because you don't know how big that window is, that eventually window.
Maybe call me a conspiracy theorist, right? But I feel like the internet and technology, the way how it's being manipulated and who's manipulating it, is making it like a little bit difficult for creators, right? It's easy. I'm talking from like a production side, right? Like producing. Like there was a time that people didn't have computers in their house. They didn't have MIDI keyboards in their house. They didn't have drum pads in their house. To buy like a drum machine was like $5 grand, $7 grand. You either had to go to some drug dealer and say, oh, hey, yo, give me $5 grand. So I'm really good at this. And they gotta believe in you for you to get that money, and then you go to the store and you buy it. So like, that's how hard it was. Now, you can go and get yourself a kit and do whatever you gotta do, and you could be the greatest producer ever.
Yeah.
But now you have to go up against this wall of, how am I gonna market? Where am I gonna like? When am I supposed to post this thing? You know, all these different. It just seems like a bunch of walls to me.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult for creative people to get their stuff out there. And I'm talking about all creative. I don't care what it is. It could be painting. It could be fashion. It could be whatever it is. If you just really good at what you're doing, you post a picture or something like that. Like, it's not going to get seen because so and so over there, they've bypassed the algorithm, and they've got 10,000. They got 20 influencers with them, and the influencers is what's tricking the algorithm. It's like, yo, it's like so much.
Yeah.
You have to be some technologically
savvy. You got to know what's
up there.
Yeah, you got to know exactly what you're doing, which a lot of people, some of the most beautiful creators run into. That's like such a roadblock that just stops them from getting just that exposure.
Do you think it's fair?
I think it's open opportunity because the knowledge, the information is there for you to discover it. I just think it's just a human being thing where you want to focus your focus, but again, your brain might explode, like you might go crazy. It might drive you crazy, like absolutely insane, trying to really understand all of it, like that. And you know, to the tune of what you were saying, it is important to find people and use them for what they're good at, right? For that purpose. So you can just kind of focus on what you want to focus on. I think that's what separates a lot of people.
That makes me move into this question about, like, right now. Like, we're talking about the future. We're talking about social media. We're talking about algorithms. We're talking about all this stuff, right? We're in the present moment. Yeah. Present Jmal, Malik, what are you dealing with now? Presently,
it's more about not allowing your process to be stopped just from like one person or just like one set of people, right? Trying to find a way to navigate through that and around that, just through gaining that experience, right? They say that discomfort or pain is the biggest motivator for change. Your shoes get too small, you know it's time for a new size.
New shoes,
you know what I mean? Right, exactly, and that's exactly where I'm at, with it. And as well as finding that ultimate comfort with myself. You know, I spent so many years, because like I said, 11 years old, I think I wrote my first rap. And I'm 29 now, so at this point, you know, I spent a lot of time tinkering with different ideas and different sounds, and all right, cool. Maybe I should go into this more contemporary lane, what I really like, or maybe I should try to keep up with the times and what's trending and what's gonna get the looks. Like I know that that's gonna get the looks because I'm good at it because I listen to it enough.
Like maybe if you go outside and put a diaper on, or you get into a fight with your girlfriend,
turn on a synthesizer and start singing. Instead of rapping. Nothing against people who do that because it does sound really good. You do it right, but you know, just realizing that that's just not me. You know, what's me is putting on the beat and maybe 1-2 tracks max. I don't need all those extra layers.
Right.
Like the words and the lyrics are so heavy and they're so packed in. Metaphors are so much, you don't need a bunch of different tracks. Right. And that's just me, but that's me. You know, I can't speak on other people. But it takes a long time to learn that about yourself.
I like, now that you say lyrics packed in and everything, there was a point in hip hop, right, where everything was light. You know, and not too many drums, not too many snares, kicks. The pattern needs to be simple. And then like now it's changing into, now we have, what is it? That Jersey sound. And also like drill music, you know? And
there's a lot going on.
Not only is there a lot going on with the music itself, but like just what's surrounding drill music.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not against it. I'm not against the music aspect of it. You know, but I think like a lot of this has to change. You know, it has to change. You know, I'm all for the changing from one type of hip hop to another type of hip hop, but like we can't. I think as people that are supporters of hip hop music, keep seeing this and being like, oh, okay with it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and that's the part of like, you know, growing as an artist and knowing what's right for you.
Right,
you know?
right.
Not trying to conform to one thing because a lot of people says it's cool, but doing what you do because you know that it's hot. Right. You got to know in your heart of hearts that something is good. Like, you gotta really look into it and just like, this is it. This is where my comfort zone is at. And this is where I'm really good at what I'm good at. This is that space right there where you're like locked in. And, you know, like you said about the drill, I like drill music. It's just some things about it that I don't really appreciate, like the constant pattern of rhyme. Let's switch it up a little bit. Right. It's one pattern. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that because there's a crowd for that. There's an audience for it. But it's just certain, like you said, just finding things about it questioning it. How do we know, like how do you know, like when a song is really, really good that you do? What do you do? What motions do you go through? Okay, so before I... Like for instance, for me, like if I make a beat and I'm in the house or whatever, I walk outside the room. Yeah. Like I need to hear it from a different place. It's so hot in here, I gotta hear it from a different place. That's like my movement. Like, oh, this is good, right? Yeah. What is your way of like knowing like you've made a song and it's good? I think the biggest way where I know a song is good is one doing the car test. I know it's like old school, but that's tried and true, man. Going to the car, listening to it, turning it all the way up, like as loud as you can hear it, without blowing your speakers, obviously. Right. Loud as you can. You just sit in the car and you're like, okay, and then you hear it, right? And then I think the second best test is at like a gathering or just somewhere where you have the opportunity to play music, just sprinkle it in. You don't tell nobody. The music's just flowing, and then you just like, all right, boom, play. And then you just kind of gauge the reactions of the different demographics that's there. You know, you got older people. You got younger people. Do you spend time like looking at other rappers and like that like you, right? Do you spend time like looking at what they're doing? To like, you know, because I was talking to a comedian and he was saying that he went to a place and bombed, right? Horrible, which he felt it was horrible there. And then I think either his girlfriend or somebody, they taped it. But comedians are known for that. Of like watching, having their self-recorded, going back, watching it. Same thing for athletes, like basketball players, right? So like watching, and also watching other comedians too. Do you do that? I wouldn't say I do that so much. Okay. Just because their approach to it just might be completely different from mine. Right. Right. Like me personally, when I find like beats to make a song, I'll listen to a beat, I swear, for about 2 months. Before you make a song? I feel like that too. Like I gotta ingest it, I gotta feel comfortable with it. I'll listen to it and then I'll stop listening to it. Sometimes that might be the only thing I listen to all day. Wow. This might be the only thing I listen to all day. But that's my process. And then one day, all the words just come to me, just out of nowhere. I have the idea, like a waterfall. Yeah, and it just all comes to me. You just kind of just find yourself ingrained. But that's a everyday thing with a bunch of different beats. It's with a bunch of different materials, a bunch of different sounds. Now, one thing I might do to get some sort of inspiration, I might listen to like just the not necessarily the songs, just not necessarily a song, but how it's put together. Right. Okay. So I'll see like, okay, like you got a nice little light sample, but then you also got words in the beginning.
It's like the arrangement
of the record.
Right.
And I think that's where I get a lot of my inspiration from. Not necessarily, people's process, because sometimes I don't feel comfortable with other processes, but I think that'll be my biggest thing. But then on the flip side, if I get in a situation where it's like, all right, cool, here's the beat, this is what we're doing, I can do that. Like, you can absolutely do
go into that bag, pull out a verse, like
pull it out and just da 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 da. All right, it's done.
Right.
It's done. But I guess it's just more of a, this is what I need it to sound like. So I'm gonna really dig deep and just trying to figure out where my space is right now, or my mental space is, how I want it to come across, how I want myself to come across.
Right.
Which is,
Well, Jmal, Malik, this was a very good, eye-opening interview.
Yeah, I agree.
Hearing your perspective is very fresh to me, and it also is nostalgic to when I was coming up and what I was going through, right?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that there are other rappers out there that are 10, and they're listening. They might not be listening to you. They might be listening to somebody else, but they might hear this somewhere, and it would inspire them too. Tell the people where they can find your work and your your social media and all that stuff, where they can find you.
Yeah, so on my social media, you can find me under Jmal Malik. That's all my handles, Jmal Malik, Jmal Malik. Instagram, Twitter, all of that stuff. You can also got some music on Apple Music. The links are in all those bios.
Outstanding.
Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, anything you can find, YouTube, Napster, anything.
Let's try to overthrow that algorithm, man. Like, I feel like the algorithm is a wall and we need to break it down.
Yeah.
Gotta
kick through it.
Through it. We gotta get people with pitchforks and just burn it down.
Just get the information to all the people.
Yeah, get it to them. Get it to them. Ladies and gentlemen, this is another episode of TheBtzTho. This is episode 12. Just finished up this wonderful conversation with Jmal Malik. My name is Calypso Beats. I thank you for listening. If you want to be on the show, if you have any suggestions, please email me at TheBtzTho.com or TheBtzTho@gmail.com. And thanks for listening. Peace.